حضرنا الكرام، كما سمعتم قبل قليل أحاديث بين طائرة الإف-16 وبرج المراقبة تحضيرا لمرورها ودخولها أجواء معرض الدفاع العالمي.
So as I said yesterday, he did catch us by surprise, Naraf, didn't he? He sort of came zooming in from our left-hand side.
Yeah, it was all high speed.
It was all high speed. So inshallah, he's going to be coming from the same direction today, from the left-hand side. And it's low and extremely fast and extremely loud. Viper 9-1, the Block 30 F-16 Fighting Falcon. Now, as fast as he's going, clearly we have a speed limit here because we can't be going supersonic, but this aircraft is well capable of supersonic speed. In fact, twice the speed of sound this aircraft can fly. Its combat range, just on internal tanks, is 550 miles, but obviously it's got air-to-air refueling capabilities and also external fuel tanks. Can operate up to 50,000 feet, and all Fighting Falcons, all F-16s, known for their agility in air-to-air combat, but as they've evolved, they've also developed a strike role, so they can do ground attack as well as the more traditional air-to-air roles. Also, it's doing anti-radar missile attacks, so very versatile as it's evolved. The newer versions, as I said, the Block 70 and Block 80, they're carrying the AESA radar, so that gives them huge capabilities of doing not just air-to-air but air-to-ground. It can map the whole battlefield, it can prioritize targets. This Block 30 is designed for multi-role as well, so it can seamlessly transition between air-to-air and air-to-ground.
Yeah, I want to ask you, Joe, about the seat for the F-16.
Yes, I've been lucky enough to sit in a few F-16s, and they're really comfortable because it's like a lounge chair, as in it's not sitting straight up, it's not at 90 degrees, you sort of lie back about 30 degrees. And what this does is it helps, you don't want the spine going straight up and straight down when you're pulling these high G maneuvers. So it's almost like you're lying back in your favorite chair at home. Everything is around you. You've got HOTAS, hands on throttle and throttle and stock. So pretty much everything is on your fingertips. Now I can see Jeff's guys have picked it up on their cameras. So the F-16 is approaching very, very fast.
حضرنا الكرام، من اليسار اقتراب طائرة F-16 للقوات الجوية الأمريكية.
We've got to thank Lifeguard for providing these big screens around the arena. If you're watching on the big screen, Jeff and his team are providing all these live pictures for us. And he's actually coming from the right-hand side now, ladies and gentlemen. The F-16 Block 30 Fighting Falcon. So as I said earlier, the aircraft capable of Mach 2, so he's just on the edge there of our speed limit as he goes around. Now he's going to pull back on that HOTAS system and wind down the power from those jet engines, or that single jet engine I should say. And now we're going to get a demonstration of slow speed. He's going to bring it right down to the stall. You'll notice the aircraft will pitch up, that way he's going to keep some lift on the wing as well. And the fly-by-wire system on board will kick in, making sure that the aircraft's not put in too much safety problems. So watch as he returns back, he'll slow right down and pitch the nose up.
عادت الطائرة مرة أخرى، هذه المرة من الاتجاه اليسار بالمرور البطيء عبر استخدام رفع مقدمة الطائرة والتحكم المساعد من كمبيوترات الطائرة المتقدمة.
The avionics suite on board Block 30 includes advanced navigation systems, mission computers, electronic warfare systems, obviously, and over the years they've been constantly updated. They get software updates and improved sensors as well attached to them, and upgraded communication systems as well. So like all of the Fighting Falcon families, they're constantly going through evolution and getting better and better, with even with the slightest software upgrade. Looking at Jeff's pictures as well on the screen, I can see this F-16 has got his drop tanks on. Also there's some ordnance on the rails as well, so he's ready for business. I know he's flown in from Bahrain today. So now he's coming from the right hand side, about 500 feet, and a slow pass. Now because he's got all this ordnance on board and his drop tanks and his rails are what we call the rails are busy, so there's equipment on there, he could go a lot slower if he was clean, and he didn't have any of that. But with all that extra underneath, he has to keep his speed up. So I've seen F-16s go a lot slower than that with their nose up, but he didn't have any weight on it. It was what we call a clean ship, so it's as slow as he can go with all that underneath.
عند تحميل الطائرة بالخزانات الوقود الإضافية والأسلحة يرتفع الحد الأدنى للسرعة، لهذا رأينا سرعة الطائرة تزيد قليلا عما رأيناه من طائرات العرض الانفرادي السابقة كالجي F-17 أو حتى طائرة التايفون، نظرا لتحميل طائرة F-16 بالعديد من الأسلحة والخزانات الوقود الإضافية.
So Viper 9-1's just been on the radio at the tower, and he's coming through for his final pass. And as I was talking about the rails, if you've got your binoculars there, you can see he's carrying a lot of ordnance. This aircraft is armed with a variety of air-to-air and air-to-ground weapons. It can carry 9 Sidewinders, 120 AMRAAMs. Air-to-ground munitions include the 65 Mavic, which is a favorite of all. Also a lot of missiles for the ground attack role. We saw the A-10 here on the ground, and the F-16 is sort of hopefully going to be taking over the role of the A-10, but not too soon, because it's a very good ground attack aircraft, and there's still a decision to be made whether the F-16 will take over the role of the A-10. Let's hope that's not too soon. So for the final time, the F-16 Block 30.
للمرة الأخيرة من فوق مدرج معرض الدفاع العالمي F-16 للقوات الجوية الأمريكية. تام عروض فرق استعراضات الجوية لهذا اليوم فريق الصقور السعودية. الذي سيقوم بالإقلاع بعد قليل بعد مغادرة F-16 لكامل منطقة أجواء المعرض، والتي تساوي تقريبا دائرة قطرها 12 كيلومتر مربعا. نرى الآن تشغيل المحركات وتشغيل الأنوار الأمامية في عجلات الهبوط. سنستمع بعد قليل للنداءات بين الطيارين عبر الجهاز اللاسلكي اللاقط لأصوات الطيارين في قمرة القيادة. يستخدم الفريق طائرة ال 65 إقلاع فريق الصقور السعودية.
Well, what an amazing sight, the aircraft taking off as a team and already beginning to join up into formation. The National Aerobatic Team of Saudi Arabia, the Saudi Hawks, flying the BA Systems Hawk 65, and already the aircraft going into Spear. Now, once they've gathered together, they're going to come back into their first maneuver, which will be called the arrival loop. So as you imagine, they'll come back in, they'll change shape from Spear before they do that, and as you can see, they're actually starting to change shape already. And the aircraft will run in as a team, pitch up, invert, so upside down, and then into the arrival loop.
يستخدم الفريق خلال عروضه طائرات هوك، سترون قدراتها الهندسية وهي تزيد جمال السماء بلونين بلدنا الأخضر والأبيض، ألوان علم المملكة العربية السعودية. في النصف الأول من العرض سنرى مهارة أعضاء الفريق في العمل الجماعي والدقة والاحترافية في التنفيذ في عدد من المناورات، بينما في النصف الثاني سيقوم ثنائي العروض الفردية سعودي 6 وسعودي 7 بأداء المناورات المتقاربة جدا ذات السرعة العالية ومناورات مشتركة مع باقي الأعضاء مثل القلب والسهم.
So I can see them way off to my right, looking down the runway in spear formation. They're going to come rolling around behind us and then come in. These wonderful aircraft, the Hawk 65, served the Royal Saudi Arabia Air Force very well over the years. Advanced jet trainer. Also, you can do some weapons training on these aircraft, so very versatile. And as I said, the new 165 on show in the Ministry of Defence compound in the courtyard. So the aircraft we can see up on the screen, if you're lucky enough to be close to a screen, they're actually behind us now. So if you're looking out across the flight line, they're actually behind the building, and they'll rotate around very shortly.
حضورنا الكرام، يقوم الفريق بالالتفاف للدخول لمنطقة العرض من خلفنا كما ترونهم عبر الشاشات.
So great work from Jeff and his team on the cameras. We can see some great pictures even though they're behind us and behind a tower. So that keeps us up to date when the arrival will be. And they're coming in from the left-hand side. They'll be in Vic formation as they are now. Thankfully, Lieutenant Naraf has brought along his UHF radio, so the calls that you're going to be hearing throughout are actually live calls coming from the cockpit of the aircraft on the UHF band.
سنستمع أثناء العرض إلى نداء وإعازات قائد الفريق لزملائه في بقية التشكيل للقيام بالحركات أثناء كامل العرض. سيقوم الفريق بدخول منطقة العرض بسرعة عالية للصعود للأعلى أثناء تغيير سعودي 4 و5 وسعودي 6 و7 ليكونا خلف سعودي 2 و3، ثم الالتفاف إلى اليمين في ختام المناورة. تشغيل الدخان من الزاوية اليسرى. دخول فريق الصقور السعودية.
So we can see the shape changing as the aircraft pulled up into that arrival loop out of Delta. And beautiful underside shot of the aircraft as well. They're striking colours, the green and the white of the Royal Saudi Arabian flag. And the aircraft rolling themselves out now as one big unit. Later on, they're going to break up and we're going to see the synchro pair, but for the first portion, all 7 aircraft will stay together before we go into the second stage. So again, another change coming up. Watch as the aircraft roll around to your right hand side. You'll see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6 get into position, and then number 7 is going to stay at the back and he's going to start rolling around the outside, but for now they stay in spear as they come back again.
من الزاوية اليمنى حضور الكرام، سيقوم ثنائي العروض الفردية سعودي 6 و7 بالالتفاف حول بقية التشكيل طائراته الخمس أثناء المرور من فوق مدرج معرض الدفاع العالمي.
And there we go, 5 aircraft leading him in, 6 and 7 rolling around the outside in the helix.
قام الفريق بأول عرض له في عام 1419 هجرية الموافق 1998 بمناسبة الذكرى المئوية، وافتتاح متحف صقر الجزيرة في مدينة الرياض ضمن عرض جوي هو الأكبر في تاريخ المملكة العربية السعودية، حيث تضمن أكثر من 160 طائرة.
So the shape of the aircraft constantly changing, constantly maneuvering. The one constant is the team leader in the middle. Get ready as they come back for the third maneuver. This time, the Tiger Bend.
عودة الفريق بكامل طائراته بعد تغيير التشكيل إلى مخلب النمر العربي الذي تعد منطقة تبوك والعلا تحديدا موطنه الطبيعي، بجانب موطن فريق الصقور السعودية في قاعدة الملك فيصل الجوية.
Now as the aircraft start to change shape, watch, they'll go into what's called diamond formation, bunching up very, very close together. All 7 aircraft will start to do it as they complete the Tiger Bend to Spear Bend. And this is a 360 degree. You can see they've changed into Spear.
عودة الفريق مرة أخرى بتشكيل مغاير هو الرمح، حيث ترون تغيير موقع السعودي 6 و7 بالطيران خلف قائد الفريق مباشرة.
Perfect lighting conditions. If you're getting some video for this for your Instagram or your X or whatever your social media is, it really looks good with backlit from the sun coming in the right direction. Now, as they're in Spear, watch, pitching up, rolling to the right, get ready for a change. It's one of my favorite maneuvers, this one, because the whole team is tightly grouped together. About 5 meters, I'd say, 5 or 6 meters between them as they come into the diamond. And get ready for the diamond roll.
من اليمين بالتفاف الماسة وتشكيل الماسة السباعي، في قلب هذا التشكيل سعودي 5 الرائد الطيار سلطان الجوهري من مدينة جازان، الذي طار سابقا على منظومة فا 15 سي الاعتراضية بخبرة تتجاوز 2000 ساعة طيران. تناغم تام ودقة عالية بين أعضاء الفريق في مقدمته. المقدم الطيار محمد بن عبد الله الفارس.
Amazing display of airmanship there. The pilots on the outside working particularly hard because obviously they're farther away, so they have a lot more movement to do, and it shows the precision, the training, the professionalism of the Saudi Hawks to be able to do that. It was like one aircraft rolling as one.
مرة أخرى من اليسار سيقوم الفريق بالصعود لارتفاع يصل إلى 1500 متر في تشكيل يضرب أطناب أصالته في أعماق تاريخ بلادنا في تشكيل الخيمة.
So get ready. This is one of my favorite maneuvers coming up next. The aircraft will come in and then they'll pitch the aircraft up, roll on their backs and come down. So they're actually coming from up to down to form the shape of a Bedouin tent in the sky.
The tank now, power back. Pilot, go!
Fantastic view, and just like a Bedouin tent, fills the sky. So the aircraft now, as you can see, have started to join up together because again they're going to come back straight at you right in the middle. So if you're crowd center, get your cameras ready. What's going to happen is 5 of the aircraft are going to pitch up and form the shape of a palm, and 2, or 6 and 7 I should say, will actually do a crossing maneuver. And that, of course, will mean we have a palm and 2 swords and that logo of you-know-who.
جمهورنا الكريم، بعد قليل أكبر شعار دولة في السماء بالطائرات النفاثة، شعار المملكة العربية السعودية. دخل الفريق بأداء موسوعة جينيس للأرقام القياسية عام 2011 عبر رسمه على مساحة تتجاوز 5 مليون متر مربع، ثناء العروض الفردية في رسم السيفين، بينما يقوم بقية الأعضاء ال5 برسم النخلة رمز الرخاء والكرم. فرصة رائعة لتصوير فريق الصقور السعودية.
Saudi, watching down. Right car. Go, right car.
Fantastic. There we go. The emblem of the Royal Saudi Air Force and the Saudi Hawks.
شعار المملكة العربية السعودية، السيفين والنخلة.
So with the logo maneuver finished, it's time for the teams to split up a little bit, and now we're going to have 6 and 7 coming from our left and 5 and 4 coming from our right as they do a high-speed head-on pass, and then they flick the aircraft up into the avalanche.
في مناورة الانهيار الجليدي سيقوم ثنائي العروض الفردية سعودي 6 والسعودي 7 بالانضمام إلى زميلهما سعودي 5 وسعودي 4 في التقاطع الرباعي. الانهيار الجليدي من أمامكم.
Closing speed over 1,000 kilometers per hour and flick. Now the action continues. Keep your eyes on 6 and 7 as they're going to pull back hard and come back for the dragon maneuver.
عودة ثنائي العروض الفردية سعودي 6 وسعودي 7 للتقاطع مرة أخرى من أمامكم مرتين، حيث سيقوم الثنائيان في المرة الثانية بتغيير ارتفاع الطائرة والتقابل مرة أخرى في ارتفاع مختلف.
Now at the Dragon complete, keep your eye out for the main body of aircraft. They're coming back very shortly. And watch out as 3 aircraft fly in VIC formation and the 4th aircraft rolls around the outside of them in what we call the flag roll from your left on the 45.
حضورنا الكرام من الزاوية اليسرى التفاف العلم سعودي 4 الرائد الطيار زايد السفياني بالالتفاف حول باقي طيارات الفريق.
So as the flag roll exits to our right, look straight ahead. Well, you notice 2 of the aircraft are pitched up and they are going to bring us a heart in the sky at the World Defence Show 2024 in Riyadh. Watch as the aircraft pitch all the way up, then they bend left and right, and just after the main heart is formed, running in from the right will be the spear.
من أمامكم ارتفاع سعودي 6 وسعودي 7 لرسم القلب، بينما سيقوم سعودي 5 برسم السهم. يقوم برسم القلب سعودي 6 الرائد الطيار عبد العزيز الرشيدي، بينما يقوم برسم الجهة الأخرى من القلب سعودي 7 النقيب الطيار محمد الخليوي.
So 6 and 7 providing the heart for us, and 5 coming down with the spear. Now look out to your right, ladies and gentlemen, coming in again from the 45 degrees. It's time for the snake roll. The aircraft all stacked on top of each other and rolling.
من الزاوية اليمنى 4 من أعضاء الفريق من سعودي 1 وحتى 4 في مناورة التفاف الثعبان، يعتمدون فيها على دقة مهارتهم واحترافيتهم في إبقاء معالم التشكيل جلية أثناء تغيير الاتجاه والارتفاع.
So the aircraft in what we call line astern, behind each other and rolling at exactly the same distance.
يطير في منتصف التشكيل خلف سعودي 1 سعودي 2 النقيب الطيار سليمان تخيل، ومن خلفه سعودي 3 النقيب الطيار محمد الكعابنة.
So as the main body of 4 aircraft move away to the left, again rolling in from your left, a lot lower. This time we're going to have what's called the reflection pass, 6 and 7, and 7 will stay vertical, and then 6 will roll over onto his back and reflect. So pretty much like a mirror will reflect your image. They're reflecting the image of each of their Saudi Hawk aircraft.
من اليسار ثنائي العروض الفردية سعودي 6 و7 أثناء توجيه قمرة القيادة من طائرة سعودي 6 نحو زميله سعودي 7 بمسافة لا تتجاوز المترين بسرعة عالية وارتفاع منخفض. من اليسار مرور المرآة.
So the reflection pass heads off to a right-hand side. That means it's time for the main body to come back. Watch straight ahead. They come in for a 3-2 ship split.
سيقوم سعودي 1 برفقة سعودي 2 و3 بالانفصال عن سعودي 4 و5، والذين سيقومان بالتحليق في الاتجاه المعاكس في مناورة الانفصال من أمامكم بعد لحظات. نرى الآن تشغيل الدخان.
Left now. Take the tank
So constant instructions coming live from the cockpit, and it means that they're instantaneously actioned on as they go into the 3-2 split. Now get ready, because they're going to come back from left and from right and do what's called a 3-2 cross. So 3 aircraft from our right, 2 from our left, and they'll stagger in height, and then they'll cross each other at exactly the same height. So very, very, very accomplished flying coming up. Get your cameras ready, because it makes a really good picture.
التقاطع الخماسي من اليمين سعودي 1 و2 و3، ومن اليسار سعودي 4 و5. نشاهد الآن تغيير الدخان من رقم 2 و3 إلى اللون الأحمر.
Those aircraft approaching each other about 1,200 kilometers per hour, so very, very fast. And that was the 3-2 cross. Now look ahead for the vortex, as we see 6 and 7 returning, with 6 rolling around the outside of number 7. Once they come on to us, they'll do a cross split.
في مناورة الزوبعة ثنائي العروض الفردية من أمامكم.
Now watch 6 and 7 as they position themselves to come back for the next maneuver. It's called a flat ring, but I would call it a max rate turn. So they're going to make a circle as absolutely small as they can. Lots and lots of G here, constant G force pushing you down, 6-7 G. And it goes to show the pilots not just mental fitness but physical fitness as well. They really are athletes. Pretty much every day they're training for this sustained G pressure. It's time for the flat ring.
من أمامكم مناورة الدوامة، حيث يتقاطع ثنائي العروض الفردية في 3 مواقع بسرعة تقارب تتجاوز 1200 كيلومتر في الساعة. التقاطع الأخير للمناورة.
So with the flat ring complete, not going to want to miss this. They're coming straight ahead at you, the main body of aircraft. It's time for the pincer brake.
من أمامكم مناورة الاختراق، حيث ستقوم 5 طائرات للفريق باختراق مسارات الطائرات الأخرى بسرعة عالية مع تغيير الزوايا بشكل مفاجئ. تشغيل الدخان الآن باللونين الأحمر والأبيض، حيث يقوم سعودي 4 وسعودي 5 بالالتفاف حول التشكيل قبل التقاطع.
See, I told you, it looks really good on video that these pilots are so finely tuned that when the commander calls brake, they don't brake on the word brake, they brake on the K of the word brake, brake K. So when they hear the K, that's when they go. That's the sort of speed and that's the sort of precision that these pilots operate under. Just one letter of the word, that's what they action. Time for the flip-flop, and that's why it's called the flip-flop. You can see both 6 and 7 flopping over, inverted. as they come through.
كما رأينا قبل قليل مهارة ثنائي العروض الفردية في مناورة المقص.
So after the flip-flop, it's time for the goose. And watch, as number 6 comes back. Now, I used to call this parking the car in the garage, but not allowed to do that anymore. So this is called the goose. So you'll see the 5 aircraft, they'll be coming back very shortly. And they'll form a V shape on the right-hand side there. And watch as number 6 heads back towards them and pitches up underneath.
كما رأينا اختراق سعودي 6 للدخان من خلف طائرات الفريق التي قدمت من الزاوية اليمنى.
So look out to your right, ladies and gentlemen. Number 7 is coming in now, and then a low pass, high speed for his final pass as a singleton, because they're all going to join up together after this for the final maneuver.
المرور بالسرعة العالية والطيران المنخفض من سعودي 7. في أول سنة له كأحد أعضاء ثنائي العروض الفردية النقيب محمد الخليوي.
So as number 7 catches up at great rate, because he was going very fast there as he went through for his final run. Unfortunately, it is going to be the final maneuver coming up. All good things must come to an end. And I must say a big thank you to my co-host here, Lieutenant Naraf, who is the team commentator and must be very proud to represent his country around the world. It's been my pleasure to commentate on them today. Get ready for the bomb burst from the Saudi Hawks.
من أمامكم المناورة الختامية، مناورة الانفجار.
Well, what an amazing display. Lieutenant Naraf, you must be incredibly proud of the whole team. Another amazing display, and inshallah we'll see you back tomorrow as well, yeah, for the whole Saudi Hawk display.
Inshallah, hopefully.
Okay. Now of course that's not the end of the flying display, because once the Hawks have recovered and we've got the runway back to ourselves, we are then going to be treated to one of the finest displays here that we've seen all week. Certainly one of the loudest, that's for sure. It's the EJ200 engine powered Typhoon, and it's incredibly fast. You'll see even from takeoff to coming back on station, it's just zipping around. It's like a GTI in the sky.
You can find more about Saudi Hawks on our website and social media accounts with one name, Saudi Hawks, with one name, Saudi Hawks. Actually, Joe, I want to say thank you to Gami, because it's one of the few shows when you have your own runway and you can have a last maneuver as a landing maneuver, which is a good chance to have a picture or a video with the Saudi Hawks in the background separating 5 seconds after another, after Saudi 1 break up at first.
So the landing itself is actually part of the maneuvers and part of the act as well. That's pretty clever. They're coming in from the right now to do it.
Actually, it is the cherry on the top.
The cherry on the top. Very good, Naraf. I like that. So from the right, ladies and gentlemen, for the final time for a run and break, the Saudi Hawks. It's like the pilots have become part of the commentary team. They're actually commentating on their own flying there as they're coming in. That was them counting themselves off as they base themselves, and they'll all come in to land one after the other before taxiing back together as a group.
حضرنا الكرام، في ختام عرض الصقور السعودية لهذا اليوم نسأل أن يحفظ الله خادم الحرمين الشريفين وولي عهد الأمين ووطننا العزيز مهبط الوحي ومهد الرسالة.
So I can see the Typhoon eagerly awaiting to get onto the runway, but first of all we have to recover obviously the Saudi Hawks. They'll all come back down, and this aircraft is closing our show today, the Saudi Arabian Typhoon. It represents a significant milestone in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia's effort to modernize its air force. This multi-role fighter is a result of a collaborative effort between several European nations, and it really does have a very, very good record, and it's constantly evolving. Again, like most this is a 4.5 generation fighter. It has full AESA radar, it can super cruise, so that means it can fly supersonic without afterburn, and its weapons package is constantly evolving, not just air-to-air but air-to-ground abilities as well. It can even do maritime patrols, anti-radar missiles on the means that it can take out radar systems as well. It can do electronic jamming, it can do reconnaissance, scanning the battlefield. It can act as a node for other less capable aircraft and even drones. And if you read your magazines and keep up to date, they say it's going to in the future fly with UAVs, what are called wingmen, that will use this aircraft as a sort of mothership, and all the information will flow through that. Incredibly capable radar on it as well, the Captor. So we'll talk a little bit more about that once the aircraft gets airborne. But for now, the Saudi Hawks are just exiting the runway to our right here at Charlie. If you're looking onto the runway, it's got 3 exits for the taxiways. Charlie is down here near us, near the tower, and then in the middle is Bravo, and Alpha at the top, which is where the Typhoon is at the moment.